The last student trapped in the haunted hallways. I was never the smartest kid, but when my parents found out I was failing all my classes, they decided to send me to boarding school. They thought that maybe if I was around other smart kids, I would be more motivated to study. It didn't work, but that's not the story this video is about. This video is about how I discovered Blackwood Boarding School was built on an old Native American burial ground, and how I became trapped in its haunted hallways. Blackwood had a lot of rules, one of them being no running in the hallways. I got caught running in the hallway twice and was sent to the principal's office. The principal wasn't a bad guy, but he was weird. When he talked, it was like he was trying to intimidate you. His voice was low and raspy, like nails on a chalkboard. One night, I couldn't sleep. I didn't know if it was because I had a nightmare or because the dude next to me was snoring really loud. I got up and started walking the halls. It was 3 a.m. The only lights on were the emergency lights in the hallway. I didn't know where I was going, but I needed to get away from the sound of that dude snoring. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Heavy footsteps coming from the end of the hall. I stopped and stared at the door at the end of the hall. Then I started to walk towards it. As I got closer, the footsteps got louder. I could hear chains dragging on the floor. I stopped and turned around, but whatever was making the noise was getting closer. I started to run, but then I tripped and fell. As I lay there on the ground, I looked up and saw the shadow of a man dragging himself closer and closer. I don't remember much after that. I think I passed out. But the next thing I remember is waking up in the nurse's office with the principal standing over me. He told me that I had been found wandering the halls by one of the teachers and that I had hit my head pretty hard on the floor. After that, I was sent back to my dorm and I pretended to go to sleep while planning my escape. I was going to run away from that school. I didn't care where I went, just as long as it was away from that school and the creepy shadow man. In the morning, I told my parents about what happened the night before. They didn't believe me. They thought I was making the whole thing up so I wouldn't get in trouble. That's when I decided to run away. I packed a bag and snuck out the back door. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see what was waiting for me in those hallways. And I never looked back because I knew that if I did, the shadow man would find me and drag me back to Blackwood.